President Trump on his way to meet fellow world leaders in Japan. Among a packed agenda, there's likely to be considerable discussion about two countries with nuclear programs that Trump has treated very differently. Tension is rising with Iran, which had agreed to a deal with the international community in 2015 to give up its pursuit of nuclear weapons until the US pulled out of that deal. After attacks on tankers in the Gulf and the shooting down of a US drone that Washington blames on Tehran, President Trump continues to talk tough.
I'm not sure that their leaders care for their people. If they do, they'll make a deal. If they don't, they're just thinking about themselves. And they're selfish and they're stupid if that's what they're doing.
Meanwhile, compare that with the case of another longtime US foe that actually has nuclear weapons and hasn't agreed to give any of them up. President Trump continues to talk positively about North Korea and Kim Jong-un despite the failure of a summit in Hanoi earlier this year. The most recent visitor to Pyongyang, Chinese President Xi, could he help the US restart diplomacy? This is the 20th anniversary of the G20. These summits were started so that leaders could come together to talk about the state of the global economy. The big issue there is President Trump's trade wars, particularly with China. A former head of war planning at the Pentagon, who now heads the think tank, the EASTWEST Institute, says it's possible that the Chinese may offer help with North Korea as leverage in those difficult trade negotiations.
We've been talking specifically about economics here for a while, the trade wars back and forth between the two countries. And now this is an opportunity for Xi to come in and say, I've worked this other issue like you asked me to, and now I would like you to help me a little bit with this. Can you back off just a little bit?
The G20 leaders control 80% of the world's economy. All the meetings here will be important, but the most attention will be on two meetings when President Trump sits down once again with Russian President Putin and his face-to-face encounter with President Xi. James Bays, Al Jazeera, Osaka.